I just bought the cheapest towable backhoe online that you can find. It's the Harbor Freight Central Machinery 8 horsepower towable backhoe. We're gonna put this thing together. It comes in a box and it's got a ton of parts to it. So I think our approach is going to be that we take it obviously out of the box, and then we're going to separate all the pieces in this area here, and we're just going to go to town trying to get all this thing put together. From what I understand from all the instructions that I've seen online and things like that, it's about a 3-hour process, so it's going to be a super long video. Yeah, I'm just kidding. You're like, why did you buy the towable backhoe from Harbor Freight? Well, I'm going to tell you why as we put it together, and maybe you agree with my decision, maybe you don't, but this will be the towable backhoe that we're going to use here on the property, and we're just going to test it out and see if we like it compared to the backhoe that we can attach to the tractor. All right, let's get started. Now my plan will be to just kind of lay this out how I think it's going to go and go from there. I need to probably put something under there so when I lift all that up, the trash doesn't come out of it. But I'm just going to lay the parts out first. I think that's the best approach and see what happens. Well, I've got her unwrapped, I guess you would say, but I've got to use my forks now to kind of remove this so I can start setting it up. Once you get the axles and the tires on it, it's a little easier to move around. But this is it. It's got the Predator engine on it, 301 cc's, 8 horsepower. What is that, a 12-inch bucket probably? It is 4-stick control. All the hydraulic hoses are numbered. There's a number 5, you can see that, 6. And then I think they correspond. Yeah, like there's if you look at the outlets, there's 2, 7. I don't know why they don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, but I guess they understand what they're doing. They built a million of them. And then these are the kit, or the accessory parts. There's the instruction manual. Here's the valve body, and it's got the corresponding numbers as well. And then in here, I left this box complete because it's got a bunch of stuff in there that I didn't want to spread all over the ground. Let me put some straps on the fork. I'll get this off here. We can get the trash out of the way, and then we can get this hammer knocker put together. Come on. And by the way, I'll put a parts list of everything I use to put this thing together, and then I'll put the links to Amazon in them if you need them. I know you're going to need like a 10 millimeter for these. You're going to need 1 1/4 inch, I think, for the axle nuts. Or an adjustable wrench. You're going to need some hydraulic fluid. You're going to need some fuel, unleaded fuel. Hopefully you put ethanol free in it. And 5/8, I think, are the hydraulic lines. So it's not a lot. Gloves, grease, but it's not a lot. You just have to be patient with it. So far, it's taken me probably 30 minutes to get it unpacked. They say it's about a 3-hour process, so we're going to find out. So I'm actually going to try something. I'm going to try to get all 3 pieces off with one fell swoop here. I'm going to see if that works. It may not work, and then I'll crush everything that I got on the pallet, but we'll see what happens, right? Okay, scratch that. Just kidding. I got to thinking about it. I want to separate these pieces, right? So I'm going to take them off one at a time. I'm going to take the boom off with the bucket, set it over there because I'm not going to get to it for a minute. I'm going to take the main boom, set it off to the side, and then I'll configure like the seat, the tires, the axles, the wheels, blah, 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 and then work on all that stuff. I think that's a better option. Instead of trying to get them all 3 off at the same time, take one off at a time, separate them. All right, here we go. Now cross y'all's fingers. Okay, that worked out great. Look at that. About broke. Will it make it one more time? All right, that's the bucket assembly. Now let's go get the boom, connect it. You can really see the frame of the towable backhoe now. And when I'm editing, because it's going to be a long video, you know, but when I'm editing, I'll try to put timestamps in the description or maybe across the screen or something so that you know, okay, the first 3 minutes I unwrapped it. The first, or then timestamp 4 minutes, I put the boom together, or whatever, you know. So I'll try to put timestamps in it so you ain't got to watch the whole thing if you're only wanting to put together the backhoe without all the other stuff. Now that the pieces are all separated, I think what I'm gonna do is I'll put these axles on first, get the tires and axles put on, and then I'm gonna read the instructions, but I'm gonna put the tires and axles on so I can lift that up and then lift this side up with the tractor, get the wood out of there, and then start really getting it built, if that makes sense. All right, so let's go look at the instructions and figure this thing out. Be right back. Okay, what I did off camera was I turned it around. So I thought, well, you know, this is just the axle, front axle part, the hitch and all that stuff. And this is where all the boom and all this stuff is going to go that way. So it'd probably be smarter to turn it around. So I also chained it up. I ran a chain from this pin across to here, and I run a screwdriver, and I wrapped it around here, ran a screwdriver through here so it wouldn't slip off. I put a block of wood here. I put this block of wood was like this, and then I ran the chain over it, lifted it up, turned it around, set it on jack stands, and indeed the instructions do say first step is to get the tires put on, tires and wheels put on. So let's do that now. Step 1, put your axle in, put your pin in here, and a cotter key, a clevis pin. Everything you do on this side, you're just going to repeat on the other wheel. Put your axle in, your clevis pin in. Now for your tire, you got to take this cap off, and it's got the bearing in it and the castle nut. So take off this, just run a screwdriver down it. Don't let it drop on the dirt, and then slide it on here. I'm going to grease this axle as well and tighten her up. All right, I haven't had any tools yet, so this will be the first time I'm using tools. So I just take that. Probably a ratchet extension would be a little better, but should be all right. The dust cap came off, your wheel bearing came off, and your flat washer came off there. So the flat washer is on the wheel bearing, and your castle nut here. So the only tools so far I've used is the Hamiltonville Farm pocket knife, which you can buy at hamiltonvillefarm.com, a rubber mallet, and now that screwdriver. So I'm just going to take a little bit of grease the axle here. And so you're going to need grease and latex gloves, unless you just don't mind putting grease all over your hands, which some people don't. I always laugh because I think, man, my grandpa would be rolling over in his grave if he knew I was wearing gloves, you know? I'm like, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Put the tire on, wheel assembly. Okie dokie. Yeah. Put the wheel bearing and the washer back in here. Make sure that the wheel bearing seats. Right, put your castle nut on there. And this is 1 1/16 inches. So far, the only tools I've used is a screwdriver, a rubber mallet, and 1 1/16 inches. Latex gloves, shop rags. Look at that. Okay. Put your cotter pin in there. You got 2, 1 on each side. And we're going to repeat the process on the other side. Now when you put the cotter pins in, you're going to want to bend them so that the dust cap fits back on there. So don't forget about that. All right, another tool, pair of needle nose pliers. Okay. Look at there, huh? That side's done. Now let's do the other side. I'll get back to you when I'm done with that other side. Both tires are on, axles taken care of. Now what I'll do is I'll put the trailer hitch on this side, and I think that's it for this side. And then you start working on putting the boom and all that stuff. I'll put the Outriggers on here, and then I'll start working on the boom and the seat and the valve body. So far so good, no issues whatsoever. But I didn't expect that there would be putting tires on, you know what I mean? We're going out of order. Attaching the coupler is way after you put the boom and all that stuff in there, but we're going to go ahead and put it on now. I will add that it's taking me longer to do this because I'm filming. If you're not a YouTuber, this won't take you long at all. So Just keep that in mind. But if you're going to make a YouTube video on it, make it good. People like watching this kind of stuff so that we can figure it out, you know. And then I think these are 5/8 nylon locking nuts. And then I gotta get my fat fingers in there to get the toe. I'm tempted just to leave that off, to be honest with you. What I said was this toe chain. I'm tempted to leave it off. Why is that like that? That's weird. I'm gonna mess with this for about 2 minutes, and if I can't get up in there and get it squared away, then I'm not putting it on there. That ain't bad. Okay, we're all right. All right, let me get that tightened down. It is indeed a 5/8. Comes with 3 bolts here, so you got 2 that actually put the hitch on, and then 1 that puts the safety chains on. It's a 2-inch ball. So far we've added 5/8 to our arsenal. That's good welds. Look at that. Whole machine seems to be very well made. Next up is the axles. And I don't know, let me look at the orientation of those. Yeah, that's the right way. Do the same thing on this side. Put our pins in there. So far, pretty easy. I don't think none of it's gonna be hard. I'm putting cotter pins in these outriggers now. You may tell the hardest thing? My back. As you get older, you're like, hey, gum, it sucks. So what I can do is I can flip these up. I can flip these up for like transport. So these ain't oriented right now, but they will be. Uh-oh. That's not the right pin. There. Yeah. Okay, so the different pins have different lengths. So make sure, it's self-critiquing at this point. I don't go in there neither. I don't know where these shorter pins go. I guess we'll figure that out later on in the process. Oh, I bet these shorter pins go back there in the axles. Okay, I'll change them out. That stays. Like I say, if you just tuned in, those orientations are not correct for the outriggers because I got them in transport mode. But let me swap out these pins. See how long those pins are? That's probably better, huh? Now these super long pins are going to be for somewhere. Oh, I think maybe right here. Probably. I don't know what's going to happen right there, but we're going to put pins in it. Okay, here comes the fun stuff. We're going to start putting the boom and stuff together. This is where you need a friend. So the boom has a locking pin on right here. And then you take these cotter pins out because you're going to take the pin out. And the pin's going to go right here. So take this pin, so this side with the locking point goes toward the frame of the backhoe. Then you're going to take this pin out of the boom, place it through here. I'm going to go ahead and grease it. It does have a grease zerk right there. But I'm going to grease the pin first before I put it in there. And I'm either going to use a floor jack. I'm probably just going to use a floor jack to put it on with. Or the tractor, I don't know yet. Keep walking back and forth. What I'm doing is I'm just, on this end, I'm setting it on a jack stand. Yeah, buddy would definitely be advantageous right now. I got a jack stand supporting it on the back side here. That'll work. So not terrible, but definitely would be quicker if you had two people. Put the cotter keys in. Shoot, what you talking about, driver? We are good to go. Guys ready for the main boom? This ought to be fun. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise this up, set it there, remove these pins just like we did on the other side, and place the main boom. I don't know if that's called the main boom or what, but the other boom, we'll connect it to here. Keep these on standby in case I need it. But what I'll do is get the tractor, hook that back up, bring it around. Fun, fun, fun. And then the real work starts. All right, this by far has been the hardest part of lining this sucker up. Now I'm just going to start putting the pins together, and then I'll run my hoses. So it hadn't been hard at all. It's just, it's time consuming, and if you're by yourself, it's aggravating to be by yourself doing it. Oh, you know what? Let me adjust this. Okay. Like getting them exact, see what I'm saying? That's the hard part. That's where you need your buddy. Whew, that was challenging. All right. Yeah, getting everything in alignment is the fun part. And I'll go back and grease this thing before I use it, even though I'm putting grease in it now. Let's line up this one now. So I'll take a a floor jack that up. Let's see how close that is. Oh, look at that. Almost there. That should do it right there. I might have went too far. Of course I went too far. Oh, I might be able to push down on it. Let me push up on it one more time. Just ain't quite lining up. Fun. Like I say, you just need more hands, you know? There we go. All right, there's that one. Now I got to get this one connected, and the hydraulic cylinders will be secured to the backhoe. Got her put in there. That's the hardest part, lining up the pins by yourself. If you have a friend helping you, it won't be an issue. But I had to get on the tractor, get off the tractor, raise it up, blah, blah, blah. Other than that, it's been pretty simple so far. There's water, I guess during packing it had water in it. That's not hydraulic fluid. Although I think it does get tested and we'll have some fluid in it. But at any rate, so all I got to do now is run the hoses, put the seat on, put the valve body on, and we're almost done. Like I say, in all honesty, it hasn't been, the hardest part has been trying to do it by yourself and moving the cameras around to get the video. So it hasn't been difficult at all. All right, let's get this valve body and the hoses running and all that stuff, and let's call it good. Okay, now we're just going to hook the hoses up and follow the pattern that's in the instruction manual here, and just going to numbers to numbers, you know, connect number 2 to number 2, number 3 to number 3, etc. Super easy to follow those instructions. These take 3/4. So once you get them all hand tight, tighten them down with your wrench so you can ensure that they don't leak. I heard a guy say one time, don't go so tight that it gets loose again. And that made a lot of sense to me. You're tightening something plastic, and you just keep tightening and tightening and tightening, and then it gets loose. Okay. Through the magic of YouTube editing, I have changed clothes, took a shower, had a bite to eat. It's the next day. Now we're going to get started on this underbody of the valve body, underside of the valve body, I should say. Let me see if I can give you same thing, same concept, right? It's just these get, they're numbered. They match the hoses down here that are numbered, and that's it. So it's super, super easy so far. There hasn't been any issues. So those are already connected. I will say something about this. I'm going to upgrade this. This is like 2.1 GPM, I think, or CC. I can't remember the exact flow or whatever, but you can upgrade to like a 4.1. So I'm going to do that in a separate video. But nonetheless, let's get started on this valve body here, because this video is already getting long. So this might be the hardest part. I'm just kidding. That right there was the hardest part. So let's connect some hoses. I'll get right back to you. Okay, got all those done. Now we got to add the hydraulic fluid. It says fill the reservoir with high quality hydraulic fluid. Let me see if it's got like a spec chart. Let me see if it's got like a spec chart in the, like if it says what type of hydraulic fluid to use. It doesn't seem. Oh, here we go. 10W30 for the motor oil. We're just gonna put some high quality. I got some tractor hydraulic fluid over there we're gonna use. So let's get it filled up over here. I think it takes 4 gallons from what I hear other people say. Just got some premium hydraulic fluid here, just 2 gallons. So we'll fill this up and then go back and add more to it. It'll take all this. Almost to the minimum. I don't know when you gotta change this, but I'm gonna run this in a couple hours, then change the hydraulic fluid. Yeah, it's literally in between the min and max. With the 1 16". This is the same as the castle nut for your tires. It's got an O-ring on it, but I'm not sure it's gonna get all the way down in there. I might add a little more just to get it to the max. It's actually over the max when you crank down on the bolt. So who knows where the dipstick's supposed to be? Is it supposed to be flush? Because I'm not sure it's going to get all the way flush. I don't think so. So I'm just going to tighten it. I don't know why they put an O-ring on it. But nonetheless, she's got plenty of hydraulic fluid in her. So let's move to the next step. I'm just reading the instructions on purging the hydraulic system. Before the first time use after assembly, purge the hydraulic system. Basically, you cycle through the controls. Of course, the pin I chose was not the right pin, because that's how that happens, you know. I'm not even sure that needs grease on it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's greasable, you know. Pins are different sizes on this, so just be careful about that. But it's super easy to set up. I haven't had any issues really, so like I said earlier in the video, doing it by yourself has been the hardest challenge. I'm just gonna put it in this middle slot. You got 3 choices to choose from. These 2 pins are the same length. This pin is not. This pin's shorter, so that goes up top, just so you know. Now it says put the seat on. This might be the hardest part of the whole process right here. Ta-da! Seat is on. All right, let's see if it's hammer, knocker, or crank. Turn it on. Choke it. On. I'll turn the fuel down just a little bit. First pull. Okay, I think the only thing left to do now is to dig a hole with it. What do you think? Let me go over all the tools I used and like really quickly say step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, blah blah blah. So it's a super easy process. We're gonna go dig a hole with it here in a sec. I'm actually just waiting on the mail to run so we can get an extension, a hitch extension is what I'm trying to say. There's things called words. If you use them, you can convey what you're trying to say more effectively. Super easy. Once I get the hitch extension for my Bighorn side-by-side, then we'll tow this out, we'll dig a hole with it and finish up the video. But let me show you what all I used. Tow strap or ratchet strap, a chain, a ratchet strap, a jack, furniture dolly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jack stands, a tube of grease, needle nose pliers, 3/4 inch wrench, 5/8 inch wrench, a ratchet with a 5/8 socket and a 10mm socket, an 1 1/16 open end wrench, a screwdriver, latex gloves, shop rags, a rubber mallet, a chair to sit in. Okay, now let me see if I can go through the steps real quick for you about the process from front to back. Step 1, put your axles on. Make sure you use the correct pins. Don't use the super long ones like I did. Step 2, put your wheels on. Make sure you do not drop your wheel bearing in the dirt. Once that is on, assemble everything, keep it pinned up. Step 2, put your trailer hitch on, your receiver hitch on. Step 3 is put your outriggers on. Again, pay attention to the length of these pins. Some are longer than others. Step 4, assemble the boom. You're going to put this piece on first. I guess that's the stick and that's the boom, or is that the boom and that's the stick? I don't know. But nonetheless, you put this on. And then once the main boom or main stick is on, then you assemble the bucket and put this together here. Super easy. Once that is on, you attach all the hydraulic cylinders. Then you put the control valve on the machine. These are 5/8. Then you wire up the hoses, route your hoses, connect them to the cylinders. Then you fill up your hydraulic reservoir, fill up your motor oil, fill up your fuel, put your seat on, and you're done. The whole process is 3 hours, 4 hours. Like I say, I've been just piddling with it, and it's taken me. The hardest thing is to make sure you have someone to help you. If you don't have someone to help you, it's going to take you longer, so don't worry about that. So now, once the mail runs and we get the hitch extension, then we'll hook this up to the side-by-side, we'll tow it out, we'll dig up a stump or make a hole or dig a hole or something. After you get the motor running, purge it. Purge the hydraulic fluid in here and check for leaks. We got the extension. This is what I was waiting on. I got like, I don't know, 30 bucks off Amazon, something like that. So now that we got that, let's go. And oh, before I go over there, I got to make a change, a modification to the Towable Backhoe. I'll explain that once we get over there. Earlier in the video, I don't know if I did it in editing or whatever, but this out and in, no, this up and down is backwards, I think. So I'm going to swap the hoses on this control. I'm going to crank it up, swap the hoses on this cylinder to make it match the travel of the lever. The first modification I'm going to make on this thing is adding a wheel kit to it. Took a little finessing, but I got it there. So when you're assembling the product, put number 4 into number 9 and number 9 into number 4, and then that lever will do that the right way. I've seen that online. I've seen a bunch of people say, you know, the thing's backwards, and now I know. Okay, I got it on. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That was a little challenging to do the first time. That was a little challenging. You definitely need an extension. And we're gonna go dig a hole. What do you say? Okay guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't need a hole right here, but it's in the shade and it's already 6,000 degrees. So I'm gonna get this swap back out, put the Outriggers in, dig a hole there, and just see how it works, and then go from there. Super easy to put the unit together. It's a little tricky putting it in transport mode. A wheel kit would be ideal, so we're gonna get a wheel kit for it, or make our own where it swivels up and you just leave those up the front. I've seen 1,000 videos on YouTube about that, and we're probably gonna go that route. I put the Outriggers on the wrong orientation. Okay, now let's see. So I got the Outriggers in the orientation that needs to be. I got the tires on the back. Now let's dig a hole over here. It's gonna take a little bit to get used to this 4-lever controls, I can tell you that right now. But I mean, I feel like I got in a root, but I'll take that thumb off because I don't think I need it, or I'll pin the thumb up is what I'll do. Once you learn, or once you buy the wheel adapter kit, then it's a no-brainer. This is gonna be perfect for like trenching, digging water lines, stuff like that. This is super, super easy, super affordable. But this thing is gonna be awesome. It's got plenty of power, no problems there. I just have to figure out how to get it loaded and unloaded efficiently, because right now I'm not doing a very good job of getting it loaded or unloaded, or put it in transport mode. I wish there was a way you could just hook it to your receiver and leave the wheels there. That would be ideal. Just take I wonder if you could do that. I don't know. Let's not try it today. All right, so let me put it back in transport mode. Again, I got this at Harbor Freight. I'll put all the information about it, everything from soup to nuts, in the description below, okay? Appreciate you guys watching. Hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. Appreciate you. Watch this video right here. It's awesome.